And okay, so just a reminder on why we're here right now. And the whole point of this whole, what we call Love Our Cities, is first of all, we help lead citywide volunteer days, which is a catalytic event, in our cities to inspire ongoing sustainable solutions throughout the year. We facilitate citywide initiatives. That's these year-round initiatives that we want to see happen throughout the year. One day is not enough. One day is not the end goal, but it's the ongoing that we really can see the needle move in our cities. Um, and thirdly, is become citywide conveners. I think that's something we've learned over these years. Is not only are we just gathering people and doing good and inspiring people in our cities, but our cities are looking to us to convene our cities when challenges come, when tragedies come, but even just throughout the year. I think our governments and our education world, churches and whatever, are looking to us to bring people together. And then meanwhile, in doing that, we're all networking and collaborating together. That's the beauty of what we're doing right here, is that we all live in these different cities, but man, we have so much alike, so much going on that is so similar. And then I guess I want to say this too. That's what we have down on paper. But man, just this last month, this last year, this last 3 years, um, we're just so much more than that, y'all. Like, I just don't have a lot of hope for a world at times. You know what I'm talking about? And I feel like what we are doing is something that is bringing um, people together that come from different perspectives, different beliefs, different, politics, different backgrounds. But we can all, let's come together and let's help our city out. Let's better our community. And as people of faith, to lead the way in that and not be stuck in a building, but to be out, in the community. This is where, a lot of my hope is coming right now. Is I think of so many cities that are experiencing tragedies, and if your city hasn't yet, it will, because that's just how this works. But we can be there. Like, I think that's where our community can look to us and to say, hey, there's not a lot of things that are bringing people together and bringing peace in our communities and hope in our communities. But I think what we're doing is, and so beyond the purposes and I'll have written down on paper, I think it's so much bigger on why we all exist in our communities, is to be the one that the people of peace in our communities that can bring good together. So be encouraged. It's been crazy. I've got little kids, I got young kids, and man, I'm just so concerned about our world. Um, and but I know that God's in control. I get that. I believe that. I believe that the end of the story. I get it. But I also know our job is to be about, and I appreciate Nathan praying about the kingdom of God here on earth that is in heaven. And I think that's why, bottom line, why we exist here. I want to address our topic today. Is we're going to continue what we did last month a little bit. We celebrated some of these citywide volunteer days that happened throughout this last spring. This past spring, we had over 17,000 volunteers in the cities that participated. And that was pretty exciting, to see so many people in our cities that have come out to love their city. And so we've got some cities, and I don't know who's all exactly on the call. I got a list of cities that I've asked that they would come and just kind of share a little bit about what happened and their city this past month, and to share a couple things here, a couple highlights, an area that you want to improve upon, and then a couple ideas to share with other cities, so that we can maybe gather some great ideas that we might be able to implement in our own cities here. So is Brea on the call here?
Yes, I'm here, Kirk.
Yes. Hi, Kirk. There you are. I'm sorry. Up in the right corner here.
Good morning.
Kirk, good morning. Hey, tell us about Love Brea.
Yeah, we had it was a wonderful year. We had about 350 people there. We normally have about 450. Had a lot of the same jobs that we did, in other words, the projects. But what we did was, a new thing we did was we brought everybody to the Civic Center, which we'd started there. Of course, we didn't for 2 years with COVID. We still had the Love Brea Day for the 2 years, but it was just stuff that people could do and write letters and that kind of thing that the last 2 years. But this year we went back to the projects. But we met at the Civic Center. It's a wonderful place that has kind of, it just has a lot of room for people to meet. And so we had tables there, and we met before for the time the what's the thing called that you begin? I'm sorry, I'm just blanking.
The kickoff.
Kickoff, sorry, yeah. So
right.
we did the kickoff there, but then we also joined there afterwards, and everybody came back, and we had this year we had an In-N-Out truck, which was great. It was a little bit expensive. It's about $11 and change per person, but we have a wonderful police chief who loves to raise money for us to do this. He's kind of the one who got it started. So just the community sense of being able, everybody coming back and being together, getting to eat pretty quickly. We'd had in years past it had taken 2 and 3 hours to get everybody to eat. So we got everybody in and out in about an hour. So that was great. So I think just improvement for next year is basically looking at extending more projects and just getting more people involved. We were down about 100, and that's what we really like to just see things come back up to what they were.
Very good. Thank you, Kirk, for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, can't go wrong with the In-N-Out truck. In-N-Out truck pulling up.
Yeah.
That brings a smile to everybody's face. Okay. Is Bob from Daly City? Bob, are you on yet? Not yet. Jessica from Escalon? Not yet. Michelle from Keys.
Hi, everyone. Well, we're super excited because it was our first year of doing Love Keys, and I'm super proud of our community and how it all came together. We had about 40 days to put it together, and we had, our community is very small. We have about 6,500 people. And so we had 62 volunteers come out. We had 3 projects and 1 small project. I forgot what you call it, but we had the youth go out and wash fire trucks. We had alley cleanup, and then we have graffiti be gone at the park and beautification of the park. It was so amazing. It was so cool just to have everyone come out. We met at the kickoff. We held it at the community center. So we had donuts and coffee there, and just seeing everyone with their shirts on. And I honestly thought, oh well, they'll probably wait till after, so because they don't want to get it dirty. Oh no, everyone threw their shirts on, and so we just have some cool pictures of everyone just it was signified like unity. That's how I took it, and it just went really smooth. Well, there were a couple of hiccups, but I mean, the whole day was just amazing. Everybody was just fired up. Everybody was just in great mood and very positive. I loved it that we met people that, I'm very involved in the schools, so I knew a lot of the families that were there, but I also met families that I have never met before and probably wouldn't have if it had not been for Love Keys. And we also had a celebration after. We had a bounce house, and we had hot dogs, and just I was sharing with Brian that everything was just so amazing. Like the weather was awesome. It was, just the kids playing in the bounce house, and they were just running around, and the families were just hanging out and talking and getting to know one another. And there was such diversity also. We had just different nationalities coming together, which is really awesome for Keys. I don't know how many of you know some history on Keys, but that was really a beautiful thing too. And one of the highlights is when we were out at the park, the neighbors began to come out and what's going on and what's happening, what is this, you know? And you know, I went and explained to them, and they one neighbor brought out some chips and sodas and water for the volunteers, and he's like, I want to get involved, you know, next year, you know, tell me. And so you know, I'm like, well, we're going to be doing things year round, so you know, we made sure that to exchange, you know, information. And so that was really cool. And we had those that were walking around, and these are folks that are from like they're Punjabi, they speak Sikh, you know. So our church, it's when we have outreaches, we really don't get a lot of participation from, you know, there's just certain groups that don't participate. So this was great because they were very open, they were very interested, and are willing to be a part of it. And that just blessed my heart, because what a great avenue, you know. And so that was one of a big highlight of the day. And there was just so many. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I just appreciate the opportunity to do this for our community. I really, really love our community. I have such, everything that I do is for, I semi-retired as an insurance agent, and my whole life is devoted to this community, really is. And just to bring Love Keys to it, kind of just like, I don't know, just kind of brings it all under that. Like, I think we talked about that umbrella, you know, and it's just really a blessing. I'm just so grateful to be a part of this organization.
Well,
thank you so much for the
Michelle.
opportunity.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Your enthusiasm is contagious. Your smile, and just love it. I love it. Okay, so Jim, Manteca, talk about Love Manteca.
We had about 245 participants. We did not have a central rally this year. I just decided to not risk all the energy into a rally that would be COVID canceled. Next year we will. I feel that will unify us, because it was almost like a Pennsylvania barn raising before, where it was a central park and everybody came together, and we really had to, you know, tell the stalwart workers, hey, we want you at the rally, that it's important for us. And one thing we did different this year was we set up stations at Starbucks and Home Depots where they wrote cards like for 6 weeks prior to the event. And then that day they took the cards out. They were all checked just to make sure there wasn't any animosity, especially towards the fire department or towards the police. But all these first responders efforts locally 6 weeks before Love Manteca was a cool thing. We were able to find funding for shirts, and we got them all around. I have very few left over. That's a goal. We finished all projects. I think we had 18 projects, and a lot of the projects went to other project sites to help them close up. And so there was some great unity getting everything done. We had Tom Patty and Josh Harder's office present and involved. We got a large church to join us in the 11th hour of this year, but they're now on force to jointly plan it for next year, because it just shouldn't be our church leading it. It should be a coalition, and that's sort of fragmented during COVID as the team leaders also took jobs elsewhere. But it was a good year, and I'm looking forward to the next year. And even now, trying to set the communication out to be able to plan and also to be able to continue to raise the funds to pay Love Our City's cost near Halloween. But God was good. It was very fun, and our goal is to make it more of a year-round rather than a once-a-year splash.
Good. Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Erica in Patterson, share with us about your first love, Patterson. Erica, do you hear me? All right. Well,
Yes,
we'll move on here.
yes, yes.
Oh, are
Can
you
you guys
there,
hear me?
Erica? Yes.
Yes, can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. Love Patterson took place for the first year, this year, obviously. We had a great turnout, especially for being our first year, and we started planning in December. So we had about 3-4 months to get it all together. We had about 160 volunteers. We started off the morning with the morning rally. We had a DJ. We had a morning yoga meditation to kick off our rally, which was really great because it really grounded us. I feel like it brought, that peace and that foundation that we needed to start the day, to be intentional, and really to, honor ourselves and also honor the day that we were going to be engaging in and being of service to our community. So we did that, and then we also had Starbucks joined us with with a widespread of coffee and iced tea. We had donuts, and we had breakfast burritos for our volunteers in the morning. We had ordered 200 shirts, thinking that we would have some left over, but they went by fast. And then after that, it was great. DJ turned back on and people were dancing. And then it was time to go out to our projects. It was great because we really collaborated with, the school district. The city was really engaged as far as providing projects. We had about, I want to say 10 projects or so, but they consisted of the school district, the churches, also our local homeless shelter. We engaged with them and had, volunteers there as well. So I feel like we really touched on the different sectors, if you will, in the community. This energy was wonderful, as it was mentioned. The weather was great. It's always like, it's going to be really hot or it's going to be raining, but the weather was perfect. Couldn't have asked for better weather that day. So we did invest in having a mascot, which was great. Everybody loved it, as Brian had recommended. It was great to kind of have the mascot go around, the heart mascot go around and take pictures, and everybody was so excited. And seeing different children, seeing little ones there from our Young at Hearts there too, and participating in the volunteers. And then we did have and I didn't mention, I apologize, for the rally took off at the morning in the heart of Patterson, which is like the center of Patterson, the park, which is North Park. And at the North Park, we had an activity for little ones, which they painted flower pots for our elderly. And we had our Rising Sun, which is part of the school district, donate the succulents. So that was great to see the little ones, painting flower pots for our elderly community. After that, we decided, for it being our first year, we didn't want to overcommit. So we didn't have like an afternoon rally, but that is something that we have discussed that we definitely want to see. Because I feel like it would just kind of, tie, cherry on top, right? Tie everything in as far as bringing the community together. But nonetheless, the energy was there. People were so excited, and the community definitely supported. It was wonderful. The sponsorship, the engagements from the community, and we look forward to continuing that energy year round. So thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Great job. First year doing this, such a great job. I heard the idea that what you guys pulled off was the DJ, and we did a DJ in our town this year for the first time. And it's something, it's an idea for y'all to consider. There's something about what a DJ brings, just the music and the people like they do the different dances and things like that depending on the songs they do. But it definitely adds. I saw what it did when we just played music before. It was good, but you have a DJ on stage, it really heightens the excitement, and people get more involved in the day. So here's an idea. Okay, Tina from Love Ripon, please share about what happened at Love Ripon a few weeks ago.
Thank you. Is my microphone on? My phone's
Yes.
not telling me. Okay, good. So we had the most volunteers this year that we've ever had. We had 550 volunteers. So that was very exciting. We did do a rally this year. So the last 2 years, 2 years ago, we just did a food drive where people could drop off stuff. And it was completely drive through with very few people, just pretty much our own board volunteers. And then last year we did a semi rally, really spread out at a park that was half drive through. People could drop off food or cards. But we did have some projects, but no real rally where we brought people together. So when we did the rally this year, and we didn't know how it would go, but people loved it. It was back to, they really wanted to be together. They wanted that community. So that was really great. We dedicated this year's to our fire department and our police department. And one of the ways we emphasized that was we've done the cards, and we did appreciation cards. We have that, but usually we have a big banner that says Love Ripon, and we have people sign it at the rally, and then we'll present it to the city. Well, this year we made two with a blue stripe and a red stripe, and we had people sign their thanks to the fire department and the police department. And then as a board, we took and presented those afterwards. And that was just great. The community was wanting to show their appreciation, and both the departments really loved getting the banner. So that was something we'd added this year. We did differently this year. That was really great. One of our projects was specifically helping the fire department. They've had, with COVID, they have had many, many more calls. And so one of the things they did in their downtime was paint fire hydrants, and they weren't able to for a couple of years. So we sent out volunteers and painted about half the fire departments in the city. So that was a good project. People liked doing it, and it was in groups of 5 or 6. So that was also, I mean, we're kind of dancing with COVID. Half the town is like, we're done, and the other half is still concerned. So that was a good option because they could stay in a smaller group but still get out and help. What else do I have? So one of the things we did last year that was a real COVID thing was we did a blood drive, and that has to be on the day before, but we attached it to Love Ripon. And so we repeated the blood drive. And it's interesting, last year's was way more involved. There were way more volunteers than this year. So I think that might have been a COVID thing that people were more aware of, but that's what we did.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate you and that so much, and all the work you guys did. And so great to hear about a great year. John Grossi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, John, we're just going around and just sharing some of the worst sins we ever committed. And so if you could, you're next. If you could just unload on us.
Okay, brother, here we go. Everybody buckle in.
Season. Hey, give us a couple highlights of the first ever Love Daily City, and anything that maybe something that you guys want to improve upon for next year, and any creative ideas that work too that you could share with us.
Sure. It was our first, and I gotta say, I gotta go all the way back where this started for us is when I joined you at one of your Love Modesto meetings. And I said, how the heck are these people pulling this off? Prayer testimonies with city and county officials. This is insane. I said, I got to get a piece of this action. And, that spurred us, our church, and then these 5 pastors from 5 churches. We actually got a hold of 60 churches, but only 5 got together, but we were not discouraged by that at all, just because to our understanding, it's never happened in the history of Daly City. And we had 3 projects, which were to feed. We partnered with Second Harvest and we handed out 300 boxes of food. I mean, it was nonstop from the moment we started. We ran out of food. Then we also we cleaned streets, the major thoroughfare through Daly City. And then we just, when we said we wanted to love our city, we actually focused on senior citizens. They just opened up their senior center services, and there's a lot of shut-ins who never get any attention, never get out of their houses. It's very hard for them. So we had our churches write personal cards to our seniors, and then also the police. Our police have been discouraged, and they've had a lot of negative press. And so we asked the fire department and the police what we could do. And the fire department said, focus on the police. They need encouragement from the community. So we got together with our police chief, and then we also wrote handwritten cards of encouragement to the police, and they loved it. And then we had prayer, worship, and at City Hall, right there in the front steps of City Hall, which to our history, that had never happened. So it's really awesome to see all these churches, prayer, praise, worship ministry, being done by the body of Christ in Daly City at City Hall. We also had a car show up that day. We had food, we had games. It was really a community celebration. We had different city officials come by and greet us. And it was just like, wow, Lord, we can't believe we're pulling this off. So, again, even though at the beginning we said it's only 5 out of the 60 churches that we reached out to, the Lord says, do not despise the day of small beginnings.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. Thank you, John.
Yep.
All right, Raina, share with us about Love Costa Mesa.
Good morning, everyone. Love Costa Mesa was our 5th annual citywide serve day. We had officially we had 1,000, but I think we probably had a little over 1,000 people show up. We had 80 to almost 90 service projects available to our community. So we started off with a morning rally as well, and we did it at City Hall. So we had breakfast, coffee from local vendors, sponsored, and it was a really great time. The city officials loved it, that it was at City Hall. And we sent out all of our volunteers to their projects, and afterwards we planned a really epic lunch celebration. We had a band of all these local musicians that they came together just for Love Costa Mesa Day. We had 7 restaurants sponsoring 1,200 lunches for our volunteers, and we also had booths for kids and adults from the city, from our businesses, nonprofits. So it was honestly one of the most amazing day. The highlight for me, at least, I had the most incredible planning committee that was represented so I had a school representative, a business owner, I had a few nonprofit leaders, I had about 4 pastors, and I had a city staff. And the city staff was super key in helping us plan this day. She made things so much easier for us because she did a lot of the legwork and helped us get all the fees waived for everything we needed. And so the partnership with the city this year was extremely strong. And the planning committee is the reason we had the most successful Love Costa Mesa Day. So.
Wow, that is awesome, Raina. That is really great. I hope that, you guys are all picking up just some nuggets that everyone is sharing here. Just having, even right here, just one thing stood out was having someone on, within the city government on your team. That's just huge. They can just plow through all the red tape and things like that is so hard to get through sometimes. But having a diverse team of business and school and government and a little bit of everything, I think is a really great team to have. Hey, if you guys have videos and or photos and all that of your city, what you did, if you can post them on our City Leaders Forum page so that we all can see them. I've seen a lot of yours when your own city when you post, but I can't always. Not everybody can see them all, and I'm selfish. I don't want to be the only one seeing them. I want everyone to see all the photos. So any photos or videos that you've done, please put them on our City Leaders Forum. And if you know how to get to that, just let me know and I can help you to get them on that page there. A couple of you here came up, and John, you alluded to this about, some of the model that we've had over the years is inviting people to come to Modesto. Not that we've got it all figured out. We're learning every year, we're learning as we go, but it's been fun to see people that have come to visit here to observe kind of what we're doing, and then we talk about it and hopefully take some of these ideas back to your city. So I want to have Danielle, if you would share a little bit of it, and Raina too, and anyone else about just briefly, your experience of coming to Modesto and just, what you learned and maybe what you want to take back to your city.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me, and I've shared this with you, Jeff, is just the conversations that I was able to have, like more in depth in just hanging out with Raina and asking so many questions to her, like just different things. That was it had a really big impact on me, and going into or back here to Love Snoqualmie Valley, I think we're in kind of a funny season of like rebuilding. And so being able to just be inspired by so many of you, and then actually seeing it and just being hands-on there really was like the most inspiring. And then a couple, like just the tidbits that I went back with and have shared with the team, I loved, and there were like simple things, but they just made a big impact. Like you guys had yard games out during your rally, like things like that, as far as the getting people engaged and getting people to still hang out while they were at the rally and like just have a fun time. I thought the DJ was really fun and amazing. I actually didn't realize it was your first year having the DJ, but it totally makes sense. Like it just really having them, do the cha-cha slide and everyone is involved. And, but that was cool. And then honestly, just walking around or taking like the van around and seeing the partnerships that you guys had with like just the smaller organizations, the smaller guys that need the support, that need the recognition, I guess, as far as like, hey, we want to partner with you. And I think that was something that I really took away and kind of have been talking with my team about, is just like how do we let the individuals who are doing a really awesome job in their community feel supported by maybe something bigger, and like feeling that level of, we want to all in the end do the same thing. We want to love on our community, but how can we all get to that big picture together? I don't know. I don't want to take too much time, but it was honestly just really inspiring to be with people who were in all seasons and all I don't know, different levels of their cities, as far as like, we are only a couple years in, and then, or we did 1 year and then COVID hit. And so it's kind of like, we're just in a rebuilding stage. And then there's, Raina was there and Costa Mesa is killing it. Like it was really cool to see and hear from so many different people, and just the like, hey, we're doing this for the first time, or this is our second year, or we have a city of 300 and we're just doing our best. Like it was cool to see that it doesn't have to be, cities of 50,000 people. It can just you can do your best exactly where you're at, I guess.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah.
Raina, anything you want to share about your experience coming up here?
Yeah, for me, I drew a lot of inspiration from your rally, Jeff. That was what because the rally is my main focus. And so I love the energy that you guys had. I love that you guys had activities for, all ages. So we also copied your idea of having kid-friendly projects that are walkable from the rally. So this year I pushed really hard for that. And so we had 4 kid-friendly projects that were walkable from City Hall. That was a huge success because we had a lot of projects that ended early. So my entire communication was, hey, if any of your projects end early, you can send them to the card making, to the encouragement, to the ones that are, they can handle a lot more volunteers. So that was something that was a great, kind of like a great inspiration. The other thing was the visuals of all the project signs that was strung across the streets. Because we were like, I didn't think it was a good idea because it's super expensive. But I think seeing the visual of having, wow, there's that many projects happening, and having people realize that they're part of something bigger is really powerful. And so we did the same thing. We strung project signs literally all around City Hall, so people realized, holy cow, there's a lot going on and there's a lot of projects. It's not just mine. So I think project leaders who felt really overwhelmed stepping in for the first time felt really encouraged that they were part of something much, much bigger. And I loved the time just spending with Danielle at breakfast and hearing the story of a woman who was like, hey, I'm not a Christian, but I'm here and you guys are awesome. Didn't think you guys were too churchy. So I love that there were all types of people who are leading these movements. And I mean, I would go back every year if we're able to. So thank you for the opportunity, Jeff.
Thank you, Raina. Well, I just want to invite you all next year. We'll do it again next year. The Friday night and Saturday, I'll send an invite out for cities that haven't come here. Also, I know Kim in Texas went to visit Corey in Colorado Springs. And so I think it's neat if we all could visit other cities too. I mean, I think it's just a great opportunity to learn from other cities and to see what others are doing. And just supporting each other. I think it's pretty awesome. But I think, yeah, I agree. One of the best things was just getting to know each other a little bit better and to see there's real people behind these video screens. See, for the last 3 years, all I've seen is you guys behind these screens and know that you're real. Like you really are real people. It was really cool to interact with everybody in that way. A couple more minutes left. A little bit of evaluation. What changes, I was thinking about this, what changes have taken place since COVID? What are some of the things that we've adjusted to? And one big thing that I've learned from all these cities is if your city was more on lockdown, if you were really shut down, kind of like our city was for a long time, it was a tough to kind of come out of this. I mean, our numbers were down significantly this year, but the vibe and the excitement wasn't down. It was just the numbers were down. And I think for cities that weren't so much on lockdown, it seems like those numbers for the most part were 2019 numbers for a lot of those cities. And so I think my encouragement is that I think a number of our cities were down a little bit number wise, but you got to believe this is going to bounce back. I mean, I just got to, God willing, who knows what's going to happen this year, but you just got to believe that the communities are going to keep coming together. And this is something that we all, again, whatever their background, beliefs, whatever, people can come and they want to help make their city be a better place. I think that is an easy sell in that way. So if you're discouraged that your numbers are down a little bit this year, don't be, just keep at it, man, and keep dreaming bigger, keep trying to get more people at the table. And man, you just know that I think next year and in coming years, this thing's going to really be something that our cities are craving for, because there's nothing else out there that is bringing us together like this, or at least very few things. I'm going to stay on the call afterwards. If you have any questions that you have, anything going on in your city that you're struggling with, or anything that you want to work on, I'd love to be helping in any way I can. Any website update ideas, as you guys, since you just did your volunteer day and you're navigating through sign up page and website and getting alerts on your email or not getting alerts or whatever, any suggestions? We're doing a rework this summer here. And so we want to make sure we include any suggestions, any ideas you have on how to better our website for you. We want to make sure every year we're really trying to craft it so it's the best for you that it can be. Next month, Glenn Barth. Anybody raise your hand if you know who Glenn Barth is? You know that name? Glenn Barth is one of the early, innovators of this whole city networking, city reaching kind of idea. If you remember, Eric Swanson was on the call. Him and Eric Swanson, they're about the same age. They've been working together at this thing for a long time. So Glenn is he's just super smart, and he's been down this road for 30 plus years now. And I feel like we can really learn from him and glean from him. So I've asked him to be a part. He's a part of Good Cities. If you go to goodcities.net, you'll see his organization and trying to help cities to be good cities. But super amazing guy. And I'm going to have him a part next month, just to be our guest for about a half an hour to share and for us to interact with him in that way. I think that is it. I appreciate you all so much. Have a great day. Have an awesome summer. Hope you have lots of fun things planned for the summer. Going to Six Flags next week. So yes, I love roller coasters.
Oh, man.
So, all right, guys, have a great day today. I'll be on the call if you want to talk afterwards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.